Hello again, this is SF Giants Fan Mike, coming to you today with a Fate series video. Okay, so last week I watched through the Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Work anime series on Netflix, and I haven't been this entranced by a series, by a new, I guess, a new IP in a long time, probably since like that first episode of Sword Art Online. That one hooked me majorly, and this one did the same thing. Um, it hooked me so much that after watching it all, I had to come out here to my car and work through some stuff. Over the course of like an hour and a half, I recorded a half-hour video and put that on YouTube. I was thinking about it so much I just had to get it out of my head somehow. So I recorded a video, put it on YouTube, and say la vie. Um, so there's so I've kind of continued on in the series, and I just kind of want to share where my journey's at with it because it's been kind of fun this last week, learning about stuff, etc. Okay, so there's three things I want to talk about. I'm saying them out loud right now, so hopefully I remember to stay on point. And this doesn't become a 30-minute, 35-minute, or however long bloated video. So the three things I want to talk about are some things I found out about Fate Stay Night that I think are very interesting, maybe even more interesting now than the whole. I won't repeat it here, but how Fate Stay Night actually started. Um, Two, I want to talk about the next series that I had on Netflix that I finished the one season they have on there. Fate. I want to say they call it Apocrypha. I want to say it says Apocalypse, but I want to say it's actually Apocrypha. Anyway, guys, I'm probably botching the name, but uh, but it is the third Fate series that is on Netflix, and they only have the one season. From what I've gathered, there's actually more to the story than what Netflix has at the moment, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, so let's get on point number one. All right, so the first thing I want to really talk about is the new things that I have found out about the. Well, let's go to the terminal. There we go. You can see good old. You can see Saber there in her younger form. Um, that I'll talk about. That's the third thing I want to talk about is this game that I've kind of found. But the first thing I want to talk about is Fate Stay Night and the things that I've learned about it. And it explains a lot of things that I had questions with and problems with uh, in the series. As Arii Emia, I'm probably mispronouncing that, and forgive me. But as he pointed out in my video, Fate Stay Night was not just Unlimited Blade Works. Apparently, it started out and it had three different endings. That's the easiest way for me to put it. There's three different paths that lead to three different endings. One is the one that I've watched through Netflix. Is Unlimited Blade Works, where you follow Shiro. He's kind of like the main protagonist. He's kind of the main focus, and then it kind of comes to, well, I guess him and Rin really share the focus. Good old Tosaka. Hopefully, again, I'm pronouncing that right. And then there's actually two other paths that I didn't know about as I was watching that series. I figured it was all the same thing. Um, After I finished the series, I recorded my video, uploaded it to YouTube, and I watched some more videos and whatnot, and that's when I found it out. There's a If you're coming to me and this is the first time you've ever heard of the Fate series, Otaku Daikun has a lot of good lore videos that I've been watching on the series, and between him and the commenter Arii Emia, I'm just gonna call you Emia from now on if I mention you again. as they kind of pointed out, you know, it wasn't just one path. It wasn't just the path that I saw. So, the path I saw was kind of, I don't know if it was a happy ending. It was kind of a darker ending uh, than at least one of them. Uh, that was kind of like where Rin and Tosaka get together and you have that relationship that I loved so much. And then there's two other paths. One is, I believe, is normally called Fate or Fates, and that's the one where Saber's kind of the main character. You follow her story, and you choose different things, and most of the people live, and it's kind of the more happy ending. And then there's one I I've read about, and I'm still not understanding it. And it is, I want to say they call it the Fell Angel. Basically, it's Sakura and Ilias are, I want to say they're the two main characters through that arc. Are the two focuses, and that and in those two paths that I haven't been, that's where a lot of the things that are explained, the moments that I'm like, oh man, this is missing the scenes where Ilya and Shiro kind of get to come together as a brother and sister. Well, one of those paths has that. One of those paths actually has a happy ending for Ilya, which is awesome. After because I watched Zero first, I kind of got to know her as that little spunky, energetic girl. And then all of a sudden to see how she ended up in Unlimited Blade Works was just sad. It's like, really? That's it? That's all? But there is a happy ending out there for her in some alternate universe, in the Fate universe. And then there's that one where Sakura, like I thought, became a main character, became a main focus or a plot point. Whereas in Unlimited Blade Works, a scene happens at the school and she's there, she gets hurt, and then I don't think she comes into the story ever again. Probably she's recovering at that point, and she's not able to come to Shiro's place like she was normally doing. But anyway, so I found all that. I mean, that right there kind of blew my mind, even more so than where it actually initially came from. So it was just kind of cool to know that there's more of the story of Fate Stay Night out there for me to find. The sad part is, actually, I know there's the 2006 anime. Some people don't like it, but I think that covers the Fate route. And then from what I hear, Sakura's route was supposed to be made into an anime last year, and I just got to find them. Actually, I found that's right on Crunchyroll. I found I think it's the 2006 version of excuse me, a Fate Stay Night that covers the Fates route. So I'll be watching that. I may come back here and do a review, probably again, may or may not. Um, but I have avenues to continue the story with the characters I love. That I fought. The one thing that Unlimited Blade Works did really well, I fell for all the characters. Between Zero and Unlimited Blade Works, I like those characters. I like to see the what ifs now for me. For me, I have a feeling Unlimited Blade Works will always be my quote unquote canon, just because it was the first one I was exposed to. Um, and then I'll branch out and see what the other paths were like. Video games for me, there are a lot of video games to the Fate series. I'm trying to figure out which ones I can get here. I know there was something about an Umbral Star or something that's on the PS4. I don't have the $40 for it right now. I'm really trying to figure out where I'm going to get $60 to get Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Uh, because I'm seeing that game, seeing gameplay. Seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I've actually figured out how to get video from my PS4 to my computer so I can edit and upload videos. So that would be kind of cool to do. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it off there, guys, because I've been talking for 9 minutes now, and I don't really want to go beyond 20. Um, Needless to say, I'm very happy that there's more out there about this series. I'm gonna consume it, and I might come back and do a little short video on it or whatever. As you're seeing, I'm at 9 minutes right now, um, and I'm only a third of the way through one of three topics. Anyway, so the second topic I wanted to talk about was I won't call it a review, just my thoughts on the Apocrypha series. I'm going to put it this way. It's a good series. I like it. Um it's a how do I put this? I have a tough time describing this one because I was coming off the high of Unlimited Blade Works and the completion of that story and everything, and then I came to Apocrypha. So I'm just going to cover a few points. All right, first of all, the premise for Apocrypha. And I apologize if I'm messing up the pronunciation. I'll call it Fate A for now, just so I don't botch the pronunciation anymore. But they botched the premise, in my opinion. Okay, so you're going to do this great Holy Grail war, and there's two sides, and there's going to be 14 masters, 14 servants. In fact, you add a 15th servant if you talk about uh, John d'Arc or Joan of Arc, if you know, as we know her here in America. There's just too many. That's 29 people we got to get to know, and you're going to probably take 25 episodes like you did with Unlimited Blade Works or Fate Zero. Actually, you know, with Unlimited Blade Works, in reality, those characters had something like 50 episodes to stew upon. You had 50 episodes of Saber. You had, you know, Ren wasn't in a whole lot of them in Zero, but you know what? She had some focus. And you got to see the world evolve over those first 25 episodes, and then you had Unlimited Blade Works, and it took off. In this case, the premise is just it's bad. Um, all of a sudden, you're having teams of servants. That's not how the Holy Grail War was supposed to work in your own canon. It's supposed to be, hey, it's time for the Holy Grail War. 7 masters, 7 servants, go. And all of a sudden, they've changed it, where somehow you're able to summon servants on your own whim. When the older Emiya, Kiritsugu, Shiro's dad, I'll call him K Emiya, just so I don't botch his name, but K Emiya explained that, hey, you know, it's not anything we're doing to summon the servants, it's the Holy Grail. They're doing all the work, we're just grounding them here. And all of a sudden, this greater Holy Grail War somehow coming about, and they're summoning their own servants and etc. So on and so forth. It's just weird. They
All right, I'm
unnecessarily
back.
changed a formula
So
that
I want to
works.
say
Um,
I
I apologize. My screen has a 10-minute timeout, and that cuts off the recording. So I apologize, guys. So as I was saying, the premise is jacked for Apocrypha or Fate A. I'll just call it Fate A. It's just jacked. My main problem with that is that we didn't really get to know all the servants. A lot of them we just get lip service. We're supposed to know who Spartacus is. He's a famous character, but he gets no development in the story because he's famous. I think they felt they could get away with that. I mean, you think about it, Vlad the Third, very famous in history, but you didn't really do much. I mean, he had some cool fight scenes, but he didn't get much development. You didn't really get to know too much of him because you're cramming 30 characters into this thing. Therefore, we're not able to get as attached. And then I called that after 2 episodes on my last video comment section with Emia, the commenter. I was like, I have a feeling they're just not going to be able to develop these characters, and they haven't. Through one season, these characters are nowhere near as developed. I mean, Rin Tosaka in Fate Zero, not even Unlimited Blade Works, in Zero, she had more character development than any 3 characters combined in Fate A. And it's too much. But they did put some good action scenes together. They did kind of make you interested in it. My main problem with the conflict is I don't know who to vote for. Now, you can do that properly where there's shades of gray, but what are these guys actually trying to do? Hey, I'm trying to get to the root. And that's great. I would love a Fate series where the seven masters are all trying to go for the root, and that's their main thing. I think both sides in Fate A are trying to do that, but it's not. There's not much time spent on it. Um, Again, it just comes down to they don't develop it well enough. Um, they have the same problem with Fate A as Sword Art Online does. Sword Art Online had this great premise, this great setup of, hey, you guys willingly came to this VR environment and now you're trapped here. You can't get out unless you beat the game, and if you die here, you die. That grips me like none other. Kind of like the same setup as you have here. Well, it's not the same setup, but the same thing happened with me and the Fate series and that original Seven Masters. You know, you're all kind of going battle royale to try to get the Holy Grail. Um, that gripped me pretty darn well. What did I do? Oh, okay. Hey, there's Mysterious Hero X. Um, and anyway, guys, you had that great setup with Sword Art Online, and it kind of gets wasted because you only stayed in that premise for 12 or 13 episodes. I forget how many they were in the video game. That was the premise, and they rushed through it instead of sitting there and stewing in it. It's a great setup. There's so many stories you can do. So many things. I mean, especially when with Sword Art Online. I mean, I love the series. Don't get me wrong, I love the series, but I would have liked to have stayed there longer. And the cool thing with, again, going back to Zero and Unlimited Blade Works, I got 50 episodes in that world. I got 50 episodes in that world, and it was awesome. With Sword Art Online, I got 12. Yeah, that could have done so much more. Um, I mean, I remember being shocked the second time I watched Sword Art Online, and the Moonlit Black Cats arc wasn't an arc; it was an episode. So much stuff actually went down in that episode. I thought was like a 2 or 3 episode arc, but then I rewatched it, and everything was flying at me, and I was like, "Oh no, they're not going to do this over one episode, are they?" And it was one episode. Um, and a lot of this is happening in Fate A. I like it. I don't love it. And quite frankly, if that had been my first real investment in the Fate series, I'd be gone already. They It was just not interesting enough. I hope season 2 saves it, but I'm not going beyond to season 2 unless it really digs in and starts covering these characters. I mean, one of my favorite characters in the series um got the total shaft. She got like 3 focus parts. I mean, she was kind of somewhat developed, but I would have loved to have seen more. And then she has this moment of self-sacrifice where she's trying to win, and I'm like, but what is she trying to win? She's trying to sacrifice herself to defeat this other character that I will admit I like. This is all revolving around Mordred, who's kind of like the main character, King Arthur's. I don't know if I should call him son or daughter. You decide. If Mordred somehow hears this, I'm gonna say son. That was not a good response when he called her a girl. Um. Anyway, guys, and that whole thing, she was trying to defeat Mordred, and her armor was just too strong, etc. But what were they fighting for? I guess they were trying to get the Grail, but again, the whole premise, the whole plot was just weak. All right, so the last thing I want to bring up, and geez, I'm already talking 20 minutes, guys. So I will be brief on this game. All right, so the game that you've been staring at as I've been talking, and you've been seeing the banners go by here. Um, this is Fate Grand Order. There is, I don't know if you want to call it an episode or a short movie on Crunchyroll, uh, about, it's basically the first chapter or what. Oh yeah, you can see it right here. It's this thing here, the first singularity here in the game. It's pretty much in movie form on Crunchyroll. Very good movie. I like this game. This is a gotcha game like Dokkan Battle. The gotcha here is horrible, and they're really stingy when it comes to letting you summon and letting you get stuff. The only reason, here, I'll bring up my teams here. The only reason I have, see, I got the Martha character. I'll tap right underneath her. The Martha character I got because she's a guaranteed 4-star pool. One of your first pools that they try to get you a taste of the pools, and you get a guaranteed 4-star, and it's a limited selection. That's where I got the Martha. Although I did pull a duplicate of her, which is cool. The only reason I have Arteria here, the young Arteria, I should say. I want to say they call her Lily. Oh, sorry. Close that. Let me bring up her character thing. Yeah, Altaria Pendragon Lily. I don't know. There's another character that has the Lily suffix. I don't know if that's a series or whatnot. And that's why I'm kind of bringing this game up right now, guys. But back to the gotcha aspect, it's bad. They don't give you a whole lot of star quartz. It takes 30 to do a multi summon. They charge a lot for the star quartz. It's just bad. It's just bad. But where this game excels. Okay, so they have this event going on right now, and that's where I got Lily from. Is that event or Altaria? Anyway, she's Saber. She is Saber, just younger than the Saber we know from Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night. I'm gonna exit out here. Do 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 do. Does this to me a lot, guys. It's probably my internet again. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. But the cool thing is they have an event. It's got a little 5 or 6 episode storyline you go through. You get points, and you can unlock her for free. Decent unit, and it's got the thing of being an alternate reality saber, so it's kind of cool. The thing this game does though very well, I like the event in that it's really good story based. I mean, the story was so, but it was kind of fun to you got to know the new characters they're introducing you to, the saber, and then the anti saber, the mysterious heroine X. Basically, she seems to be another saber, alternate reality saber that's coming. Anyway, you guys can go through, and it's kind of a silly story. Uh, I'll let you guys, if you guys have gone through it, you know what it is. If not, you can look it up. But the awesome part here, what they do better than any game I have come across. All right. Some games do the story pretty well, but they decline after a while. The story like gets bad, like Fire Emblem Heroes, another gotcha. It has a good story for the first 2-3 chapters. It's not, I won't say it's super engaging. It's not a super great story, but it's fun to go through. It keeps you engaged. This game has a great story. I'm only in my second singularity, or technically they call it the first singularity, but I'm at my second stage of the game, and they've still given me good story. I mean, the battles take 2 to 5 minutes tops. They're not very long. They're not very arduous. Now that I've gone through the event and got all the level up items, I got level 50 characters now. I'm able to face roll them pretty easily, but the story is good. Um, I just actually had my first death in the story. Yes, guys, this is a gotcha game with a story that features a main character dying, at least presumably dying. And the way she went out was awesome. I was just like, wow, that is amazing that they would go there, because usually these type of games want you to have the good feels. They're not willing to go there. I mean, I haven't seen I don't know what Fire Emblem Heroes has done in the last 6 months, 8 months now, but they were not willing to go there. They're not going to kill off for example, they're not going to kill off Lynn in the storyline. Um I don't know if the character in Fate Grand Order has been in any of the series yet, but she could be because she's a heroic spirit. But the heroic spirit, again, sacrifices herself. A potential character from another game or whatever, like they're doing here. They're kind of doing Fire Emblem Heroes, the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, the Dokkan Battle, where they're bringing in all the heroes, so you can use them all. Gotta catch them all. And they sacrifice themselves. I couldn't think of. I guess Lynn from Fire Emblem Heroes might be too big of a character. Because again, I don't know if if the character was actually in any of the other series, was featured in any other series, but it's a major historical character, uh, and you see them, sacrifice themselves. It was a shocker. I was, I wasn't, I won't say I was moved to tears, but I was like, holy crud, they went there. They actually went there. Um, and it's a satisfying change. That means all these characters, all these heroes of yore that I come across in this game, what they have said is that none of them are safe. Most likely, Mash or Mashu. I like her. She's like the main servant in the game. She's your starter unit. She progresses. Anyway, I won't. You guys can check out the game. I don't want it to stay too long. She's that character, the Mashu character, the Mash, as they call her in game, is likely a safe character. She's most likely not gonna die. I feel like she's gonna be safe. But anybody else we across, if we come across Saber again, Alteria Pendragon, she could go. If we come across uh, the archer from Unlimited Blade Works, Shiro, well, I'll just call him who he is, Shiro. Uh, you've been spoiled. If you're this far in, I'm like 28 minutes in. I didn't want to go a half hour, but I did. Uh, Actually, I might have missed a minute. Anyway, guys, if he shows up, he's like a main character. He could die. If I don't know, Friend Tosaka from Zero and Fate Stay Night, I don't know if she became a heroic spirit. If we come across her, she could die. I mean, it lets it lets you know nobody's safe. Granted, they're heroic spirits, so if and when they die, it's not like they're dying, but your interaction with them is most likely over for the entire game unless you get lucky enough to pull them. And in this game, you're probably not going to get lucky enough to pull them. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to go too much further on this game and on this series. I love it. I might bring you a few gameplay tidbits of this game or whatnot just because it's fun. I like it. I might bring you like a chapter just to show you what they're doing. Probably easier than what I've been doing. But guys, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much, dude. If you've made it this far into this video, I thank you so much. For those of you that are here for me to say this, if you could leave a reaction, like, a dislike, or a comment, that'd be awesome. That lets me know. Obviously, it helps me with the algorithm or whatever with YouTube. This video, I'm not expecting and I'm not really making to try to get views. In fact, with my Dokkan battles, I'm not really trying to get views with them. I'm doing them because it's fun. I'm the YouTuber that does this for fun. Yes, I'm jacking Saitama's or One Punch Man's line there. Uh, anyway, guys, I don't do this necessarily for fun, but anytime I can get a like or a comment or whatever where I can engage and it's always awesome. Like with Emia on the comment section last time, that was awesome, dude. You're the whole reason I'm actually doing this video. Because I remembered you made the comment and you were saying, "Hey, I'm looking forward to your review of Fade A." I'm sorry I'm having to shorten these things because I can't pronunciate. I will work on that at some point, guys. Uh, Once I can properly pronunciate my last name, I will start working on all these other things. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for making it through. Thank you so much for sticking with it. May you guys just have a blessed night. All right, guys. Have a good one. Dun dun dun.